Good morning to you. My name is Ife Ajagbe. Here is Kennis Sport on Kennis 104.1 FM. Nigeria Professional Football League and PFL clubs have been directed to ignore speculations in the media suggesting that the Nigeria Football Federation (NFF) has ordered the suspension of the league. Chairman of the League Management Company (LMC), Shehu Diko, clarified that the statement by the NFF on its Twitter account was that match commissioners and host state football associations must ensure that all medical requirements, including equipment and personnel, must be in place before starting a particular game. Diko said the statement does not translate to a blanket suspension of the league. Rangers International FC of Enugu pipped visiting Katsina United FC 1-0 in the ongoing Nigeria Professional Football League rescheduled match day 18 in Enugu yesterday. The only goal of the match was scored by Chinonso Ezekwe in the 46th minute of the match played at Nnamdi Ezekwe Stadium, Ogwe, Enugu. With the victory, Rangers climbed up to 8th positions from 13th position with 31 points after 22 matches in the MPFL. Speaking after the match, Rangers assistant coach Mbaz Mangut expressed dismay over the club's several missed chances, adding that they needed to avoid such against a big team as Rivers United in their next match. Kwara United FC coach Abdullahi Bifo has called on the players of the team to be calm and not play under pressure, rather urged for more focus on the joint battle to see that the team doesn't get relegated at the end of the season. Bifo, speaking with newsmen, urged the players to be more focused on the urgency of the task at hand and to think of getting points beyond playing at home, which is now the stark reality of the new Nigerian league, where any team can be beaten and can win anywhere. The Nigeria Football Federation (NFF) says Super Eagles duo Ola Aino and William Troost Ekong may not play in the double-header against Sierra Leone if they are not satisfied with the measures put in place by the Italian clubs to fight coronavirus. The NFF hierarchy said they will contact Sierra and Udinese to find out if the players are free of the virus. Otherwise, the coach of the Super Eagles, Gennaro Rohr, will be asked to replace them. CAF has announced that its competitions will go ahead in the wake of the outbreak of coronavirus, with several important matches on the continent looming, insisting Africa has not been declared a high-risk area over the disease. Despite this declaration, Africa's football governing body says it will consider playing some matches behind closed doors to meet the expectations of some countries that have announced restrictive measures to help fight the deadly virus. The Egyptian Football Association (EFA) says the Premier League matches scheduled for today will be put off due to bad weather. The head of the competitions committee, Hossam El Zannati, said EFA will choose new dates for the postponed games, which will be announced after receiving security clearance. The Egyptian cabinet had also declared today as a paid day off for employees in Egypt's public and private sectors due to bad weather conditions. With two crucial African Cup of Nations qualifiers on the horizon, Bafana coach Molefi Nseke is due to name his squad for the upcoming double-header. Bafana will face Sao Tome and Principe twice this month as they look to bolster their hopes of reaching the 2021 AFCON in Cameroon, and it has now been confirmed that the coach will announce the players today. The Europa League ties between Sevilla and Roma in Spain and Inter Milan's against Getafe in Italy have been postponed because of coronavirus. Both last 16 first-leg games were due to be played behind closed doors today, but have been called off after Spanish authorities imposed travel restrictions between Spain and Italy. UEFA said it will communicate further decisions on both games in due course. Meanwhile, the first leg of Manchester United's Europa League last 16 tie at LASK in Austria today will be played behind closed doors, as well as Chelsea's Champions League last 16 tie at Bayern Munich on the 18th of March. Wolves' Europa League last 16 first leg match at Olympiacos today will also be played in a near-empty stadium, as well as Rangers' second leg tie at Bayer Leverkusen on the 19th of March in the same competition. UEFA rejected Wolves' request to postpone the match in Greece, which the club said was an unnecessary risk. No Arsenal players or staff will be tested for coronavirus after the postponement of Wednesday's Premier League game against Manchester City. The match was cancelled after Olympiacos owner Evangelos Marinakis said he had contracted the virus. Marinakis attended Olympiacos European League tie at Arsenal on the 27th of February. Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang beat Bukayo Saka to Arsenal's February Player of the Month award. Aubameyang was announced as a winner on Arsenal's official website yesterday. Other players who lost out to Aubameyang are David Luiz and Shkodran Mustafi. Aubameyang continued his impressive goal-scoring run in February as he scored 4 goals in 6 appearances in all competitions. Tottenham Hotspur's manager Jose Mourinho has defended his team's 6-game winless streak and hopeless situation about winning any trophy this season by talking up the club's long injury list and submits that any club in the world with similar situation would also struggle. Bundesliga giant Bayern Munich has intensified negotiations to bring back Toni Kroos from Real Madrid. Bayern are keen to re-sign Kroos and are scoping out the possibility of doing so in the summer. Kroos joined Real Madrid from Bayern in 2014 and has enjoyed a trophy-laden 6 years at the Bernabeu, but he has been unhappy in the last couple of weeks, particularly after the Champions League defeat by Manchester City. The main organizing committee for the 20th National Sports Festival, tagged Edo 2020 in Benin, has commended the level of renovation work so far at the University of Benin hostels. The Secretary of the MOC, Peter Nelson, expressed satisfaction with the level of work shortly after he led other members of the committee to inspect the facilities. The University of Benin hostels will be used as the Games Village for the upcoming NSF Bill to hold from March 22 to April 1. Nigerian-born British boxer, heavyweight unified champion Anthony Joshua's promoter Eddie Hearn says Joshua's defense for his world titles against Kubrat Pulev in June will not take place behind closed doors, despite the coronavirus outbreak causing major disruption to sporting events. Joshua will defend his WBA, WBO and IBF world titles against Bulgarian Pulev at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium on June 20. Japan's Olympic Minister Seiko Hashimoto says postponing or cancelling the Tokyo Olympics is inconceivable as the new coronavirus outbreak raises fears that the event could be scrapped. Hashimoto told the Parliament committee that it is the IOC who will make a final decision on the Games. The rapid spread of the virus, which has infected more than 560 people and been linked to 12 deaths in Japan, has cast a shadow over preparations for the game. The International Tennis Federation has announced the postponement of both the Fed Cup's final and Fed Cup playoffs in response to coronavirus health concerns. The Fed Cup was originally scheduled to take place on the 14th to the 19th of April at the Laszlo Papp Sport Arena in Budapest, but the ITF has decided to postpone the event following consultation with independent medical and travel advisors as well as international and national authorities. The Hungarian government had also put a ban on indoor gatherings of more than 100 people. As US Open champion Bianca Andreescu says she's hoping to play Miami Open as she continues her rehabilitation from a knee injury, which has kept her out of action since October. The world number 6 has yet to feature in any tournament so far this year after suffering a knee injury which saw her withdraw from the WTA final Shenzhen. Los Angeles Lakers star LeBron James has backtracked on his earlier statement that he wouldn't play in an empty arena if teams were forced to keep fans out because of the coronavirus outbreak. James's Lakers, were a Western Conference best 49-14, had a different opinion last Friday in comments after the Lakers' victory over the Milwaukee Bucks when asked about the possibility. 732 confirmed cases of the coronavirus in the USA as of Tuesday, with 26 total deaths. 2 of those deaths have come in California, where at least 140 people have been afflicted. James Harden said the Houston Rockets felt more fluid and free as they snapped a 4-game losing streak by beating the Minnesota Timberwolves. Their losing streak, which matched a season high, came after they won 6 in a row and dropped them to 6th in the Western Conference with the playoffs fast approaching. The Rockets trailed for much of the early going in Minnesota but used the big run in the third quarter to take the lead and hold on for the win. And moving on to other stories this morning. Champions League holders Liverpool are out of the competition after a dramatic last 16-second leg against Atletico Madrid went into extra time and ended 3-2, but 4-2 on aggregate. Jurgen Klopp's side, seeking to win the trophy for a seventh time, thought they had overturned Atletico's 1-0 advantage from the first leg when Roberto Firmino's first goal at Anfield this season at the start of the added 30 minutes gave them the lead in the tie. Jorginho Wijnaldum's first half header was full reward for Liverpool, laying siege to the Atletico goal for much of the first 90 minutes. And yet, as the Cup sends another memorable Champions League victory, Adrian, deputizing for the injured Alisson, paid the price for a dreadful clearance as substitute Marcos Llorente pounced with a low finish to secure Atletico's crucial away goal. The NBA has announced that all matches will be suspended from today until further notice after a Utah Jazz player tested positive for coronavirus. The announcement was made just before the Jazz game against the Oklahoma Thunder was due to start yesterday. The NBA said the player who tested positive was not at the game. The NBA said it will use the hatters to determine next steps for moving forward in regards to the coronavirus pandemic. The Utah Jazz said a player tested negative for influenza and a respiratory infection and then tested positive for COVID-19, the current strain of the coronavirus. Juventus have announced that Italy centre-back Daniele Rugani has tested positive for coronavirus. The Serie A side said they are activating all the isolation procedures required by law, including for those who have come into contact with Rugani. The club added that Rugani is currently asymptomatic. All sports in Italy is suspended until the 3rd of April, with the country in lockdown because of the coronavirus outbreak.